guy has been waiting a long time to be on this stage. He communicated back to me, I feel like it was last year. He reached out and said, I want to come on the show. He was sitting right there, as I remember, and said, I truly, absolutely want to come do stand-up. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, Mr. Joe Sikora. Joe!
Thank you, Ari. I have to apologize. I've got a bit of laryngitis, so bear with me. But it is indeed a treat to be here with like-minded folks that enjoy clean comedy. I am married. Ari didn't have a chance to say that. Anyway, my good wife's right here, and that almost didn't happen. I wanted to take her out for a long time, and finally, all the stars were lined up just right. There was a good movie in town. I had a quarter tank of gas. Three of my 4 car tires had tread. And I asked her out, and to my surprise and joy, she said yes. And I took her to this movie, and you know how in the movie the lights go dim? Well, the lights went dim, and she leaned over to me and she said, "Is that you groping on the floor and touching my ankles?" I said, "Maybe." And she said, "What's wrong with you? This evening could be over early." I said, "Well, I lost my caramel." She said, "You're risking everything for a lousy caramel?" I said, "Well, I had to. My tooth is in it." So, thank goodness she's a forgiving woman. And now I know we're all here, or Canadians, or soon will be, but don't forget your roots, your heritage. My wife is German. I'm Polish. I tell people I'm a Pole. My wife's a Kraut. We had 3 kids, 2 with wieners, 1 without. And I am an auctioneer, a bona fide auctioneer. I had my own auction business for 35 years. And I'll tell you right now, any of you thinking going into auctioneering, just go watch other auctioneers. You'll learn more than you will at those auction schools down the States. So I went to farm sales and I saw that farmers that had trucks, the auctioneer would immediately climb up into the truck box so that he could have a better view of the crowd. And I tried that at my sales and it proved successful. The only problem is I got a little carried away. At one sale, we had a nice clean manure spreader. And I hopped up in that manure spreader and I sold it. But as I was getting out of the manure spreader, there was a mic like this with a cord. My feet got tangled up in it. I flew out the back of the manure spreader. 2 farmers immediately picked me up and asked me if I'd go into politics. I said, "You know, I can't. My body's allergic to drugs." And they accepted that. And the good thing was, though, I didn't get hurt. I know we're short of doctors here. I was actually talking to a fellow in the food court, and he was complaining about a shortage of doctors, but he said, "I solved the problem." I said, "What'd you do?" He said, "I went to the airport." He said, "They patted me down, checked for lumps. And just to be sure, they x-rayed me, see if I had anything else." And he said, "And if you mention the word Al-Qaeda, you get a free colonoscopy." So, doctors are in short supply. I read a story about a young doctor down the States. He was just getting through med school, brilliant man. All the instructors knew he was going to be an excellent surgeon. Steady hands, no tremors, dexterity. He could have been a bomb diffuser for the FBI. But anyway, they couldn't wait for him to graduate. But he had one shortcoming. he could not diagnose. But these big hospitals didn't care if you couldn't diagnose. They had doctors who could diagnose a brain tumor, but they were scared to operate on it. And they needed this young man to do the operating. And he bluffed his way all through med school, and finally he had to take this one last class from the prof that had the philosophy that half of the reason why people get cured is because they have faith in their doctor, and the other half is because of the medicine. So the final exam consisted of 10 people coming and seeing this doctor, and they had a checklist: bedside manner, thoroughness, etc., etc. So this poor guy was faced with this. In come the first student, or the first patient rather. She was rather a large lady. She weighed about 400 pounds. And he said, what's the trouble, Mrs. Jones? And she said, well, it's my stomach. So he took a stethoscope and he listened. And there was crackling and gurgling, and he didn't have a clue what was wrong with her. So he took a chance and he said, Mrs. Jones, you have a textbook case of a locked bowel. She said, are you crazy, boy? I've had diarrhea for 3 days. He said, you're exactly right, Mrs. Jones. You have a locked bowel, but it's locked in the open position. So, I know we're under time constraints here. I want to tell you one more little anecdote from a great Chinese philosopher, Confucius. And Confucius said, laugh and the whole world laughs with you. Snore and you sleep alone. You've been a great crowd.
Everybody at the beginning that Joe was married for 53 years. And you wonder why you're going to get picked on tonight. All right. We're going to bring it up. We're going to reset that at the back there, Ann, real quick. Turn around there, folks. I know that Joe mentioned, and we didn't ask Joe, what is the secret for 53 years of happy marriage?
Eat anything put in front of you.
Joe, come back here. Get up here, young man. You earned this one. Come here. Come on.
It's over my navel.
You put it wherever it fits, my friend. Joe Sikora, everybody. Oh, man.